So this is what about $600 in Australia will get you. Now the ones that came home with me were the AEG or Rigid and the Bosch Blue. So I would have gotten these both as Makita bench grinders that are 8-inch or 200 mil, but I ended up getting the AEG in 200 mil, and I ended up getting the Bosch Blue in the 6-inch version, which is 150 mil. This one is going to have a coarse grinding wheel on it on one side, and then a stropping wheel on the other side. I went to 2 tool stores, and none of them had an actual like MDF or like paper buffing wheel. They all had just cloth buffing wheels, which I don't think you can use on knives, which I want to sharpen. So I'm gonna make my own. Structure manual. Here we go. Isn't that just beautiful? Let's adjust the focus so you can see. Damn. I find that Bosch Blue stuff is in a white quality, but their Bosch Green stuff is just absolutely terrible. And here we are. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. This it's pretty beefy for the just being 150 mil angle grinder, and so far it looks alright. Let's power it on. Now, bigger angle grinders have a clear advantage over smaller ones, but I don't know if that's the case for bench grinders. My dad has had a pretty cheap 150 mil 6-inch bench grinder for the past 15 years, and it's still got the original wheels on it. Damn, that sounds so smooth. Listen. Typically a coarse stone gets a lot of use, but a fine stone doesn't really. This one, it's finer than I'd expect, which is alright, but let's take this case off. I need to measure the spindle. One thing I don't like about bench grinders is they don't have a spindle lock on them, so it's difficult to change the wheels, unless I could be mistaken, but I don't think I am. If I shove a piece of wood in there, I'm hoping that'll just stop it, so I don't have to get my hand broken. Is that tightening it? Oh, golly. Come on, why do none of these bench grinders have a spindle lock? It would save us a lot of headaches. So if I didn't make it clear, I can't remember, this wheel is going to be for sharpening tools such as knives. So I've got some green polishing compound or jeweler's rouge that I'll put on. And give this bad boy. So now this is on, and boom, we've got the table on. This table is far faster to adjust than some other ones I've used, and it's strange that you can't put it on an angle too easily. I have some green jeweler's rouge or polishing compound. We'll put that on now. Whoops, too much? Never done this before. Test it out. You know how much faith I have in this? I'm gonna test it out on my EDC knife. My friend gave this to me a couple months ago. I use it every day. Whoa. So I've been using this MDF wheel for a couple minutes now, and it's been working great, except right when I started using it I made a massive mistake. So because the bench grinder spins down, can't see, but this spins down like this, and this is facing away from me, the wheel is spinning this way. So I was doing the right thing and I was holding the knife like this, but then I wanted to sharpen the other side, so I turned it like this, which meant that the wheel was spinning into the knife and it wasn't working. So I wondered what was happening, and then the knife got caught and it flew across the room. And I ended up with a pretty bad battle scar in there. But once I figured this out, this became very sharp. I'll show you. So I don't have much hair on my arm, so I'm just going to use my leg instead. And we can indeed see that this knife is hair-shavingly sharp. Hey guys, it's been a couple hours and I've just been screwing around with this. So the MDF wheel for buffing works exceptionally well. You just gotta be very careful with it. If you turn your knife the wrong way, that can happen. But overall, I think this is a great little machine. But what about the AEG? So I'm gonna open this up with my fresh razor sharp knife. Yeah, let's take it out. So there are a couple little thingies in the box, but let's tear into this. Let's see how it runs. One thing I don't like is they have this little coolant tray that goes in here. And I mean, it's a nice idea, but this is just, it's so flimsy. And also, what sort of part is small enough for you to fit it in that little square there? And also, if I really needed coolant, I'd put it in a container right next to where I'm grinding. So it's sort of a failed attempt in my opinion, but we do have the rubber protected buttons here. And what looks to be more spark guards up here. I don't know what these are for. I don't know, let's see. And we still have to mount the tables on them. I originally wanted to get two 200mm grinders, but I went to 2 tool stores and I could only find one of decent quality, so I just went home with the Bosch and AEG. So I've got this first table on, and it confused me a little bit because there's this stop in here that so I can't pull this more forward any, but it made me aware that that's not the point of it. The point of it is so once the disc wears down, I can just push it back in and it can't come further out. This looks to be not a tilting table, which kind of confuses me. Maybe they have a tilting table in the box. Anyway, let's get the other one on. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's this groove in the table here. I don't know why that's there. It's not on this side. I wonder what that's for. If anyone knows, can you just comment down below? Thanks. I think before we proceed, we should plug this in just to make sure it runs. Wow, that looks like it's hidden on something. Wow, that's quite a bit louder than the Bosch, but I don't know, I guess the wheels are bigger. It's got some built-in lights. That's really nice. So if I'm in a dark corner of my shop, I can work more easily. Seems alright. We'll take it apart and we'll put the different discs on. So far I like the grinder, but I just used those wheels and they are terrible. The disc is so soft that I actually feel parts of the disc flying into my face as I use it. And I'm covered in all this silica dust from the disc. So if you do buy it, make sure you get a replacement. Speaking of which, I got this supposedly pretty high quality fine grit disc. I'm gonna use it for sharpening drill bits. And then I got this wire brush for cleaning off rust and etc. Once you have an impact driver, taking off fasteners becomes no big deal. And these are 10 mil nuts. Wow, I thought that snapped, being honest, but it's just a nut instead of a bolt. And for all you safety Nazis out there, yes, I've unplugged this. So unfortunately, I don't have a socket big enough to fit this. So I'll have to figure something out. Wasn't a problem, just a crescent wrench to the rescue. And for all my Aussie viewers saying that this is not in fact a crescent wrench, but it's an adjustable spanner, I'd like to invite you to go away because you're wrong. I've decided I'm going to put the wire wheel on the left side, so the the grinding wheel on the right. And these terrible grinding wheels, we're taking those off. This grinding wheel costs like $60 or something like that, so I'm gonna be careful with it. I've dropped these before. So on this disc there's a number of different sort of inserts to calibrate it to your size of spindle, so I guess it's not that one. Kind of strange, they have like 20 different sizes. Alright, mine was the second up. Putting this one back on. Should you leave the paper on there? I don't know. Now, you don't need to put this back on ridiculously tight. You just need make it snug enough that it's not going to come off. Now it's just a matter of repeating this on the other side. That's not coming off. It was just a left-hand thread. I got my dad to help me out with that. If any of you are wondering, this is the brand of wheel I got. This wheel didn't come with the same sort of system that that other one came with. It just came with a bunch of these little things that fit in there or something, so I'll have to figure this out. So I got the right spacer rings in, and we'll just put this one back on. I don't want to strip the thread on this, so I'm just going to use my drill with a clutch on it. 9, 10, let's see. Seems alright. Yeah, doesn't need to be too tight. Same deal on this side. Let's put the case back on. Sorry about the rain, guys. Now, I'm unsure if you need a table for a wire wheel, but we're just going to stand out the way when we carry this on. And it's catching on something. I think it's the wire wheel. It's not fitting quite right. And it's not spinning. What I think is happening is that the wires are getting caught on here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the guard off. Now, I am aware that the instructions probably tell me not to do this. But, you know what? It's alright. And that's unfortunate that we're going to lose the lighting function on that one, but oh well, you know, sometimes you just got to make sacrifices. I'd rather this work and have no lighting than not work and have lighting, because why would I just want to stare at a bench grinder that's not spinning? Okay, let's try it. Alright, so I'm definitely gonna have to screw that down on something. Wonder if they allow me to. So on here there's no real options for fastening it down besides these pretty idiotic things that they've put here that allow you to supposedly put a screw in. But there's no space for you to put a screw in, so the only thing that you can use those for is putting a bolt in. Anyway, there's nowhere to clamp it down, so I have a couple options. I could use a spring clamp, which would work fine, but the pulling force on it isn't super strong. What I really want is an F clamp or a bar clamp to put on here, but the issue is it can't fit in, so we're going to use, guess what, the bench grinder to make it fit. Bench grinders are problem solving tools. They're not really something that you buy for a specific project, but once you have them, you can use them on anything. Okay, we'll see if that's alright. I've taken the corner out there. We'll see if my modified bar clamp fits in, and looks like it does perfectly. There we go. So hopefully that'll keep this held down. I might have to figure something out for the other side, but it seems relatively sturdy. So this is difficult to move around. I think that my table's a limiting factor. So let's stand it on now. Okay, so I can feel it vibrating the entire floor, but my clamp is holding it, so it should be alright. Now, if you are using a wire wheel, make sure you've got your safety glasses on. These wires get everywhere. I want to test out the fine wheel on this, so I'm gonna grab a drill bit and we can test this out. Now let's test the fine wheel. I got a 10mm drill bit. Let's try that. Wow, that impressive. So this is just a cheapo drill bit. Let's try it on some really thick pine. We got particle board and then pine. That seems to work really well. Now I have some sort of Australian native hardwood here. Let's try drilling through the end grain. This is extremely taxing on drills. Okay, that seemed to work really well. So how sharp the drill is more dependent on my skills. Secondly, it's probably the wheel, and then thirdly, it's probably the grinder. So we can't really say anything. I'm not too great at sharpening drills. But anyway, I've just been using an angle grinder for the past couple of years, and this is far better. One thing I noticed when I was using this wire wheel is it bogged down very easily. I wasn't putting that much pressure on it. And apparently this is a 550 watt bench grinder, but this one's I think a 350, and it seemed more powerful. Maybe I'm just a little clueless. These wire wheels might just take a lot of power, and maybe I was just pushing too hard. But overall, I'm very impressed with this little Bosch unit, and I'm very glad that I put this MDF wheel on. Because I got this chewed up by using it incorrectly, I'm probably going to make a new one. And with this wheel on it, this one is far better than the ones that come on this AEG. So overall, great little unit. This one, not really so much. Couldn't even put the printing on straight. I mean the sticker, skew. So this is sort of why I don't tend to buy cheaper tools. But this fine grit stone isn't going to see much trouble, and I guess I'll just have to take it light on this. It was annoying that I had to take the guard off to fit the wire wheel, but that's more a function of how wide of a wire wheel I got. Currently, I use this Ryobi belt and disc sander. You'll notice that I've had this for a couple of years, and I've never used the disc on it. That's because disc sanders are useless. But I use this belt all the time, so if eventually I want to get a belt grinder, that would be tremendously useful, because this is just a $150 belt sander and I use it constantly. Anyway, these bench grinders should help me out a lot. So you'll probably be seeing these bench grinders in a couple of years to come in my videos, because they're just such handy tools. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Love y'all, God bless. Hey, happy Easter, man. Leave a comment for Jesus, man. Hey, anyway, thanks. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, maybe. Love y'all. See y'all.